Welcome to Mike's Harder After Hours. I'm Colton.
I'm Joe.
I'm Don.
Don the filthy whore.
I love that it's just Don's fucking name that like gets the the addition to it.
I don't know that we have like things that we say that we kind of tagline, but he was given that nickname by somebody that we know and that listens, so it just kind of stuck.
Someone that apparently knows that he's a filthy whore.
Evidently.
He's got insider information.
No, you don't.
He seems to remember a 3-hour cruise.
3-hour one way. What'd you guys do on that cruise?
He must have drugged me because I've never been on a boat with him.
Well, you guys would have had to have like done something to make the time go by.
I've never been on a boat with him, so.
Boats and hoes.
Oof. Today was a day that I was super glad to work inside.
Must be nice.
Thought about Don today. I was like, man, it's fucking cold outside. I didn't even go outside to smoke today. I was like, nope, I can wait. And tomorrow's going to be fucking worse. Yeah.
Tomorrow I should be inside all day.
I freaking hope so.
Well, maybe.
I'm inside every day.
Well, that's where I'm fortunate too.
Might have to go salt all the sidewalks and shit tomorrow.
Oof.
Yeah.
My grandpa said it's supposed to be like 50-mile-an-hour winds.
That's gusts.
Yeah.
Yeah, steady like 20, 25. Snow flurries. Nothing really sticky, so it's just going to be hard to see.
Yeah, he said it should get about an inch.
I don't know if we'll get that much.
Kind of like all my ex-girlfriends. I just wanted to stick already. I was so upset when I walked out of the house this morning. There was no snow on the ground. I was like, fuck.
I don't want snow.
Dude, I love
either.
snow. If there's not snow on the ground for Christmas, I'm going to be really upset.
I hope
would
that
be
it's
so
like
happy.
55 degrees on Christmas.
Fuck you. If it's 55 degrees on Christmas, it's going to be about 300 in here because I'm going to burn your fucking house down. Put that shit
It'd be higher
in
than
the
300
fucking-
if you're burning it down.
Well, there's no steel beams, so...
It'd still be higher than 300 degrees in here.
Yeah, I've,
Trust me, been there, done that.
I've enjoyed quite a few Christmases in Ohio that were in the 50s. Standing outside in a T-shirt. When cousin Robert first moved to the States, I think it was his second Christmas, we were sending pictures to his family in Germany. We're standing outside in T-shirts and shorts. It was like 58 degrees.
Didn't you say it just gets really cold in Germany because like they miss the...
Yeah, for the most part, they don't get much snow,
Yeah.
but it gets really cold. You'd have to ask him to be specific, but the way that he described it to me, yeah, they don't get a lot of snow, which is why he never learned to drive in it. Which is why his first winter here, he wrecked his dad's truck. Damn telephone pole jumped out in front of him when he was going on the ditch.
God, I hope it snows for Christmas.
Nah.
Yeah.
That used to mean something else.
Yes, it did.
That shit was fucking hilarious too. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. And you're over here like, if it fucking starts snowing because of you fuckers, like, it's already snowing in your house, Joe. I don't know what to tell you.
So how is everybody else's week going?
Cold.
Cold,
Boring. I'm
boring.
just doing details.
Mine's been kind of interesting. Went to the ER Monday morning. Chest pains, couldn't breathe.
You went to the ER Sunday night.
I went Sunday night for migraine. It wouldn't go away. But then found myself there Monday morning with the same people that were working the night before when I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When the doctor on shift walked in Monday morning, he's like, "You again?" And I'm like, "Yep, me again." Yeah, I couldn't fucking breathe. Chest hurt like hell. We spent, I want to say like 5.5 hours in there.
It's because you're pussy.
Okay.
No, I was making a play on puss, like pussy.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's been kind of a wild week. We're only on day 3.
Let's hope it doesn't get any more wild.
Yeah, no shit.
In the words of my girlfriend, I feel that in my soul. Go to work Monday, thinking we're just going to be prepping a house, to find out, no, we're setting a house. Crane's coming in 2 hours.
Well,
I was like, we have never, ever set a house on a Monday.
it's always been prep and then Tuesday set.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't you get a raise every time or a bonus for setting a house?
Not yet. It's the new complex.
Oh.
The 52 units we're doing next.
Oh, that's what you figured out? It's okay.
Should have been like, hey, lump this fucker in.
Well, I'm kind of assuming that's what it is because the company that we were using, this house that we set this week was the last house they're doing.
Oh, all right.
So after this, it's me.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, all right, must be the new complex is when I'm going to get pay raises. And if I don't, I'm going to bitch.
Okay. Got to remind him of the deal.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Of course, he's probably drunk and don't remember it, so.
After that 4-day weekend and then my added on 5th day, I am freaking behind.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, I'm up to speed on what's ordered. So I've got all the orders filled, but then I've got all of these large batches that get sent in by customers that resale, so they'll send anywhere from 20 to 60 at a time that they're like, I need these back whenever you get them done. And I don't like to leave them sit, so I work them in between all the orders so I try to get them done as quick as I can.
Right.
So those are piling up. I just finished up one last week right before the holiday break. That was, I want to say that was 40 pieces between carbs and distributors. That was 40 of them. So got that done right before the end of last month. And then now I got a 32-piece set up to try and get that out. Yeah. I'm busy as shit.
Yeah, I'd say.
Can't afford to be taking any more time off work, that's for sure. And we're coming up on Christmas, and I got 2 weeks where we're going to be down.
Yeah, I know. We're off from Christmas Eve to New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And it's like a Tuesday through the next Thursday or something.
I'm going to be so fucking bored.
I know. I'm going to be over here every day.
Good, I'll take you to work with me. I'll go in and have you sandblast while I do.
I'm not going to have dick to do. I don't care.
I plan on going in because I'm going to be so freaking bored. And it'll keep me at least pseudo caught up before.
I thought you were going to say somewhat sober.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, there's that too.
There's that too because I'll drink coffee till I go in. I'll go in at like 10, work till 2 or 3, and then come home and drink. Yeah, so it'll somewhat keep me sober. But I can go in and work on all the stuff that's already ready to build. That way, when after the New Year rolls around, because all that stuff gets held up in the mail and held up in UPS. So like the first 2 days we're back open, I get fucking buried.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I have all those turbo parts. So I just put them on eBay. I had some guy message me yesterday or the day before, asked me questions about one of them. And I don't know if he was like surprised, but I just want the shit out of my garage. I'm not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
I spent a bunch of money, and if I can get half of what I spent, I'm not gonna make I'm not gonna make my money back at this point.
Yeah.
Unless I were to start doing turbos again, which I don't want to fucking do. Oh, speaking of, do you guys want an ultrasonic? I need to clean out my ultrasonic, and I need to change the fuse because I left it on, and the fuse blew, and it doesn't heat right now because, according to them, it just blows the fuse if you leave it on.
Okay.
But I have no need for it. Like,
how big is it?
It's a fucking tabletop unit.
Oh,
It's the
tabletop.
biggest tabletop unit they had. I didn't want a roller.
So yours doesn't have like a timer where it comes on and shuts off by itself,
It has a timer.
does it?
Yeah. There's a knob for the timer and there's a knob for the heat.
Okay. But you mean timer like as in for the cycle?
Right.
Okay.
It's always on heat if it's on.
Okay.
And the knob, it goes to an hour and a half, 2 hours, I think.
Holy crap.
Maybe an hour. I don't know. It goes for a while. I know if I turned it all the way, the whole time I was working out there, it was on.
Yeah.
So it goes for a while.
Huh.
Paid like $800 for the fucking thing, but I don't have any use for it anymore. It's just sitting in my fucking garage, taking up space.
I can ask. If work doesn't want it, I might know a couple people interested.
Okay.
If I was doing anything out of my garage, I'd be interested. Just for myself.
Yeah, I just want it out of my fucking garage. It's on like a cart, and I've got a bunch of, like the mix that they sell.
Yeah.
That's for cast iron parts.
Is yours the eco-friendly? You can pour it down a drain?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think it's supposed to be poured down a drain.
The stuff we've got is eco-friendly. You can pour it out on the ground, and the EPA won't yell at you. You can pour it down a drain.
It might be. That's what I've always done, but I don't know. Just at my house. What the fuck's anyone going to say to me?
Yeah. The only problem we have doing that is it's got so much grease and shit in it that it clogs the drains. So now we're probably going to dump it out in the parking lot because we just spent a bunch of money having a plumber come in and root the drain out of the
You're going to clog up the fucking sewer. They're going to have to tear that shit up. I'm going to fucking giggle.
I don't think ours is specific for cast iron either, which that'd be nice if we get something like that. I think ours is just kind of a generic universal.
Well, even if they don't want the ultrasonic, you guys going to have the mix. I have two, like, I don't know if they're a gallon or 2 gallon. They're this tall, probably 6 or 8 inches wide.
Yeah.
You can have the fucking mix if you don't even want the other.
Well, I'll talk to the boss because I can't imagine it would hurt to have a second one.
Right. And it could always just be like if your orders or whatever are running through that and you just have one that needs to get out for the day,
Yeah.
just pop it in the other
We
one.
don't use it on every one, but sometimes you need to.
Right.
The one we got, I think they got at a trade show on sale and it was like $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a timer on it where it turns on automatically every morning at 5. That way it's at temp by the time we start working.
Right.
And it shuts off automatically at 4 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And then the next
See, and I like the one that is there. My only gripe with it was the lid doesn't come off. That was always a pain, it seemed like.
because it goes back and acts as a tray.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine, the lid comes completely off and then it has a tray that you pull out.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason I didn't get one of the standalone ones.
Yeah.
Because it seems like all the condensation from the lid ends up all over.
Yeah, the minute you flip the lid back and it's supposed to act as a tray, it runs through the hinge and ends up all over the floor.
Right.
Yeah. But, I'll find out. I'll definitely take the solution. Even if it's not EPA friendly, we're dumping it in the parking lot from now on anyway. I'll just find out where the weeds are the boss wants dead, and I'll dump it there.
It might be. I'm not 100% sure. Just remember you have to dilute it because it's concentrate.
Yeah.
I don't know if yours is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the company we get the solution from was like, it doesn't evaporate. The water evaporates. So when it gets low, add more water. Don't add more solution.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
I always just change the whole thing, but I was working, I'm putting whole diesel turbos in it.
Yeah.
Shit got grimy pretty quick, and I didn't want to strain it or anything. Or have a bunch of floaties, because then when you go to pull parts out, the floaties end up sticking to it. I didn't want to wash it again. I wanted to just be able to put it in, pull the motherfucker out, let it dry, fucking make sure there's no excess solution in it, and fucking be done with it. But yeah, so I sold one, and I gave him a deal on it. And he's like, oh, man, that's really nice of you. I was like, dude, it's just taking up room in my garage. Like, it's sitting on a shelf that I could be using the shelf. Like,
For other crap that you don't need.
no, I want to use the shelf for all my grandpa's crap because he has 3 not matching, which also bothers me because you know how I am. But not matching, like, real small shelves that just have a bunch of random shit on it. And I was like, why don't we just move that to mine and get rid of that? And that saves us because we have mine on the one side and we have his on the other. So his takes up, 2 feet of the wall space. Then we add 2 feet of room to walk through or whatever.
Oh,
Just moving everything to the one side.
right.
Wow, if you want to get rid of all your stuff. I do want to get rid of all my stuff.
You ought to email that guy and ask him if he wants to make a bulk purchase with it for a sweet deal on the rest of the shit.
Well, he's just changing a wheel and a cover on his turbo.
Oh.
It's just some guy trying to upgrade his turbo. Or I would. I'd sell him everything for $1,000.
Talking into starting his own business. Telling me you got an ultrasonic and everything for sale.
I got an ultrasonic. I got tools. You can have all of it. $1,000. I'll put it on a pallet.
There you go.
Come get it.
That sounds like a deal.
It would be a deal, especially because he already sent me 175. Send me another 825, motherfucker. I doubt he'd be down with it though.
You what?
I said I doubt he would want it though. Pain in the ass. I described myself as a serial entrepreneur the other day.
That's about the truth of it.
Yep.
Well, when I get into something I really like, and then I see how much it costs for shit, and it really shouldn't cost that much, I want to try and save people money. That was the only reason I started the turbo business, because I had a turbo that I got in a trade. I had all the parts. It just needed put back together, but I didn't know how to do it. So I took it to the guy in Findlay, and I think he charged me like $700 to put it together. And I was like, fuck, dude, $700? I can learn how to do this. And I did. And I made decent money. And I saved a bunch of people a lot of money. And then I haven't had a diesel truck in fucking 3 or 4 years. And then the turbo business kind of got shot in the ass. All the parts went real expensive with COVID.
Somebody else has described you as something similar to a serial entrepreneur.
What was that?
And it was not so much serial entrepreneur, but somebody who tries to start and do a bunch of stuff but doesn't give any one thing like enough effort. So you got a whole bunch of things going on. So you got 3 things going on, and each one gives 33.3%.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. That's what I thought. And I was like, yeah, we'll see how long this podcast thing goes, because I'm really digging it. And
I've put basically all of my effort into the podcast, so that's good.
so far, yeah.
It's probably more like 75%, because, I have to have 25% for, like, my life. But I don't really have a fucking life anymore. I don't go out. JD was complaining the other day. He's like, you never, answer my phone calls. I was like, dude, I never do anything. I was like, my phone's always on silent. I was like, it's not to avoid you. It's just to avoid people in general. I was like, I don't do anything. And then I fucking go out with him. I get fucking drunk, and I'm fucking out of commission for 2 days.
That's why when you're at home doing nothing, you got to keep in shape.
Yeah. That's why you got to be an alcoholic instead of just
sit and
2 times a year you feel like shit.
sit and drink with Gramps a couple times a week.
I'm fucking good on that.
I thought you might say something like that.
Sit and drink and play video games.
Who was it to describe me like that?
JD.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's who I was envisioning when you said that.
Yeah. He wasn't even saying it as a slam. He was just pointing out that you start so many things.
Right.
And every time you start something new, you put a whole bunch of effort into it. And then the interest kind of wanes and something else catches your eye. You're like, ooh, squirrel. I can do that too. And
Right.
you put a bunch of
Yeah, and then I end
that.
up burning the candle at 3 or 4 different ends.
Yeah. By the time you decide to give one up, you've got 3 things going, and one of them just is the least interesting.
Right.
So you let that one go, and then immediately start another one.
Yeah, basically. I know if I ever start another business, it's going to be like just that. Because, like, even with the turbo thing, I was pretty committed to the turbos, but then I realized I could make money just selling parts. And then I realized I could just drop ship things. And that was really interesting because I didn't have to do a fucking thing. And
That
trying to
used
keep
to-
up with all three of that shit.
That used to be illegal.
Drop shipping?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Selling stuff you had no inventory of. This would have been in the early 2000s. Guy wanted me to rebuild an engine for him. And he's like, well, I can get the engine kit, the rebuild kit, really cheap. But if I have it sent to you through a business account, I'll get in trouble and you could get in trouble because we would be getting it at damn near cost. And I'm like, okay. He knew more about it than I did. He worked in the industry. He found a way to do it.
That's also crazy that I can't just, I am a distributor for this company, but I don't stock this item, and this guy wants this item, so he has to call them directly. I can't just order it for. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now we do it all the time at work.
Oh yeah, dude.
All the time.
Oh, dude, I was doing more of that than turbos by the end of it. But a turbo I would make $300 or $400 on. That I was making like $50 or $100 a piece.
But you didn't have to do anything.
No, I didn't. But it wasn't like I wasn't bringing in enough money, and then the parts were so expensive that I had to raise price, and then people were bitching, and it just all started to slow down. And I was like, well, there's no point in this anymore. And then they tried to fuck me on the taxes. I still haven't got that $300 check. Could take a year to 18 months. Fuck you.
But if you owe them the money,
They want it today.
we were talking about that today at work. How come when you make a credit card payment, it takes them 3 to 5 days to credit your account, but when they owe you money, or when you make a payment, it takes 3 to 5 days, but they'll take your money immediately, even though they don't post it for 3 to 5 days.
Right.
It's because they make interest in that 3 to 5 days, and they're legally allowed to have that window. So they're like,
We'll just let it sit here for a second.
We took your money. You don't no longer have that, but we're just going to sit on it.
Right. We don't technically have it either.
Yeah. It's something to do with our bank. You are the fucking bank.
Right.
Yeah, specifically, we were talking about JD and I were talking about the podcast when we started it. And he's like, yeah, well, see how long the interest lasts, because he's got too many irons in the fire, and he'll lose interest because he didn't put 100% into nothing.
Yeah, luckily now I don't have any other irons. They've all been pulled out of the fire.
I'm
now.
glad, because I enjoy this too much.
What?
So for now.
Oh,
For now. Yeah. Until he sees a squirrel.
yeah, I doubt that'll happen. Unless I were to miraculously get a girlfriend. But even that, I mean, we only do this one night a week.
Yeah.
Unless we were to start, like, ramping up.
I think one night a week is good, and a couple of bonus episodes once in a while. I mean, we could ramp up. I got nothing else.
Well, I mean, like, if we started getting more traction and people wanted to see more episodes.
Well, if we got to 50 subscribers.
Dude, I don't understand. Like, the first 10 were over 100.
I know.
And now we get 20 or 25. I'm like, what the fuck?
If we get 50 subscribers, we could do live. That would be fun.
That would be cool.
'Cause then I could say all the things that you tried to edit out, and you wouldn't have a chance.
Yeah, then we would just get taken down instead. Yeah,
How would
that'd
we
be.
get taken down?
That shit's monitored.
People say that shit all the time. You just won't let me.
Not on YouTube for the masses. Granted, 50 isn't the masses, but still. Maybe if we can get that guy on here, maybe that'll help traction a little bit.
You talk about J.R. Majewski. We've talked about him quite a bit on this show.
Also, if he listens to this, it's not like I forgot who you were. I didn't know if we were gonna tell everybody that we were in contact with you.
He was doing a what do they call it when he was passing the ball. Yeah, because we do want to talk about it.
Were you about to say like in basketball?
Well, what do they call it in football? The handoff, where they always fake it, but sometimes they actually.
I don't know, dude. I don't watch that shit.
Yeah,
I've done a little bit of sports betting, and that's the most I've watched sports in like the last 10 years.
but yeah, J.R. Majewski. We've talked about him a lot. We're all J.R. supporters. I reached out to him through my personal X account and told him, hey, I know this is a long shot. In fact, I'll pull up what I sent him just so I don't biff it. But I really, really did not expect a reply of any kind.
Right.
Especially if he were to listen to it before he answered.
I don't know if he listened to it or not.
I doubt it.
I mean, I can't imagine he would go on a podcast blind or agree to do a podcast blind.
It's hard to say.
I told him, it's a long shot. Here goes. I co-host the podcast, and I'm in charge of guests. We're all fans of yours. I'd like to know if you would be interested in coming on. We don't have many followers, so I understand if it wouldn't be beneficial for you. And we can be a bit crude, which could damage you. I'm one of the three of us who's interested in politics. I'd like to hear your take on what's happening.
One of the two.
I'd like to hear your take on what's happening now that Trump is president-elect. I'm in this town, straight south of the Turnpike. We'd love to get your take before the inauguration. We record on Wednesdays, but I'm sure we can accommodate another day if you need. Thanks for your consideration. And then I said postscript podcast. It's called Mike's Harder Podcast on YouTube. So I really didn't expect a reply. I sent that on the 15th of November. And Monday, this past Monday, he says, hey, man, sorry for the same reply. Sure, I'll come on. Might have to be virtual. So I told him I would get with the producer and see if we could make that work.
Owner/producer.
Well, I actually said, I'll get with the guy that handles all that. I'll get with the guy that does all that stuff and see what we can do on our end.
Yeah, because you're fucking illiterate when it comes to technology. Yeah, I think if we can do a FaceTime call, that would be cool, because then we can screen record and have video for the episode.
Yeah. I'm going to get, what do you want to call it? Not stage fright, but I have a million questions for the guy. But I'm going to come.
I feel like we should all come up with like 3 to 5 and like try and keep the questions less and more like let him talk about like what he thinks.
I'd like to hear some personal stuff,
right?
But also some political opinion. You know, like, what's your favorite beer? And also, what do you expect to happen in the first 10 days of the new administration?
Right.
Something a little bit of both sides,
right?
You know, because even when he ran, I didn't hear a whole lot about what kind of person he was, except for his opposition smearing his ass.
Right.
I didn't really hear a whole lot about him as a person, except for Captor, lying about his military service. So I'd really like to hear just, what does the guy like to do when he's not, working or on Twitter,
I've seen a bunch of TikToks of him.
I can't do the TikTok either.
I'm not on it very often, but every once in a while I'll see a link, and it's from, I think, Twitter usually, and it takes me to a TikTok of his.
Yeah. I can't.
I only like keep a TikTok account so that when people send me TikToks, I don't have to try and open them through the browser and dick around with them.
I had a TikTok account specifically because there was an article with a link, and I wanted to see the video. And I had to have, in order to do it easy, I had to have the account.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks, it shit took up too much of my time. It was garbage. Most of the videos were just annoying as piss. The algorithm knows what's going to make me mad, so that's what it showed me. So I got rid of it, and I haven't had it since.
Well, you should get it, because that's where all the true news is.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking Gillen,
It's
dude.
all in the first 30 seconds of a TikTok video.
Did you hear? Yeah, they debunked that last week.
Yeah.
I heard about it 2 months ago.
Yeah. Speaking of which, did you hear?
You're gay?
No, actually. In fact, I was filling out a piece of paperwork today at the doctor's office, and the first question is, what gender were you assigned at birth, male or female? I, of course, marked male. And then the rest of the questions were, how do you identify?
I don't answer any of those. I don't even answer the first one.
I scratched a big giant X. The only fucking one that matters for my medical care is the gender that I am and was assigned at birth.
That's
So
right.
I just drew a big fucking X through the rest of that shit and turned it back in. But anyway, something that I learned today that I had not heard, and I'm a huge Mike Rowe fan, have been for a long time. He did a Rogan episode, and I had already listened to most of it, but today I finished listening to it at work. He got a call from RFK Jr. early in RFK's campaign, and Kennedy called him and was asking him about his foundation, the Mike Rowe Works Foundation, or the Rowe Works Foundation. And so they had like an hour-long conversation, and Kennedy said, I'm going to call you here in a couple weeks. So the second time he called him, he asked him if he could come see him. So Mike goes to see him. They have dinner. They sit there and talk. And RFK Jr. offered him the VP slot.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of fucking wild.
That would have been fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And Mike Rowe is, he's like, hindsight. He's like, I wouldn't have taken it. He goes, but just to sit in my mind in that position, like, what would that be like?
Yeah.
Well, if you're Kamala, you don't do much.
True. True. I think it would have ruined Mike Rowe, though.
Why?
Having an office job, and I don't think that would have worked.
I think
too
he
well.
probably would have pushed to try and change education.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I don't know if he would have tried to abolish the Department of Education like I think is what's needs. I know he
think he would have done a bunch of reform to it, though.
definitely reform.
Oh, yeah.
He talks a lot about when he was in school, he graduated in the late 70s. He talks a lot about they pushed higher education, and they made it sound like high school's a low education, so you got to go to college. And they made it sound like, the trades were less than and beneath people. So that's what his foundation's all about is, scholarships for trade schools and getting people into jobs that you don't have to take on $200,000 in student loans
Right.
to, get out and be successful. So, but yeah, what a crazy idea. Vice President Mike Rowe. I guess Rogan was thinking that RFK was going to ask him to do it too. And in the back of my mind, I'm laughing like, no, he's not going to shoot himself in the foot that fucking hard. I mean, I like Rogan and all, but
Could you imagine? That would be wild. He'd be in the background like he's commentating for the UFC, like, oh shit!
right? Yeah. Every time RFK says something controversial, whoa!
I could only imagine.
That's as crazy as the thought of like Alex Jones being press secretary.
I think he'd be a good press secretary.
Well, Don Jr. made a joke that for the first month or so, they ought to rotate in different personalities to be press secretary, and he actually mentioned Alex Jones. He's like, have Alex Jones and then Sarah Hernandez. He just named off a bunch of these like controversial quote unquote conspiracy theory people. He's like, get them in there to handle the media. I was like, oh man. And of course Alex Jones, he goes right to Twitter, takes a picture of himself in front of his armored truck holding a 50 cal. I accept the nomination. He definitely would be one to call the press out when they ask a stupid question, though.
Right.
Even better is he knows so many dates and so many facts that when they say something, he'd be like, oh, you're wrong. Go to this document, such and such, 17.2.6-B.
It's honestly too bad that he's so fucking delusional.
I don't know that he's delusional.
Dude, he thinks that there's fucking, what is it, bees? Giant bees or giant wasps?
He talked about. He did not push.
I know he thinks that there are lizard people.
They're shape-shifting lizard people.
Okay, shapeshifting or not, I know he thinks there are lizard people. And that's fucking delusional as fuck.
I have not seen it disproven.
There's no proof.
It hasn't been disproven.
There's nothing to point in that direction other than him saying it.
I've heard other
So there's no
people say it.
reason for it to be disproven because
heard-
there's no like
I've heard other people say it.
for something to be disproven, it has to be something that is either generally accepted or already proven one way to be disproven.
Then why are there flat earthers?
Yeah.
It's been disproven, and yet there's this.
They're fucking delusional too.
Oh, yes. Yes. Ryan, come to work Monday. I think it was Monday he was telling me about it. Might have been yesterday. But he was down in Georgia for Thanksgiving with his girlfriend's family.
Did you screw his mom while he was down there?
No. But his girlfriend's uncle is a flat earther. And they're talking about it. And Ryan's telling us, I'm like, how do you... How?
Like as a child, I can understand. Like if you're not out of school, I could maybe understand. Like I don't know if I believe this shit because you probably haven't gone that many places or like done anything, done a lot of research on shit. Like that would make sense.
He's the same guy that said the moon's not real, right?
No.
Oh.
No, Ryan was talking about it. I'm like, I can't remember how it all came out. We're going to have to ask Ryan about it next time we get him on here. But I'm like, if the Earth is round or not as flat, how is the moon round? Oh, he did say that the moon's not real. And I'm
Sounds
like,
like this fucking guy isn't real.
and I'm like, but what about that big giant ball in the sky that's bright and yellow and it's a round shape?
It's an LED light.
I have read conspiracy theory, that the moon is a government projection in the sky.
Well, you also don't believe that there was a moon landing.
I don't
I
believe
don't.
there was either.
I don't believe there was. Not for a minute. No.
I still haven't seen your proof.
I haven't seen your proof that it was real.
There's video evidence.
How did they get that footage from...
I don't know the
moon to the
logistics. I didn't
Earth?
work at NASA. God damn it.
How did they FaceTime? What was it, 1964 or whatever? How the fuck did they do that? How did they FaceTime from the moon?
How was the flag
I mean-
waving?
Huh?
How was the flag waving?
Yeah. I understand that a lot of the things that is created for and with and through NASA, that's how we got cell phones, that's how we got computers, that's how we got computers in our pockets at this point.
Yeah.
I get that. So they're advanced farther than us. But come the fuck on.
I don't know, man. I'd like to see some proof otherwise.
Well, the guy that shot the footage in the studio is no longer with us, but did say on his deathbed that he shot the footage in a soundstage in Southern California.
Man, on my deathbed, I'm going to say some wacky fucking wild shit, too, and hope that it fucking sticks. I had sex with Jennifer Aniston. She just wouldn't let me tell anyone. But now I'm going to die.
I'm going to tell everybody I saw the fucking giant wasp under the White House.
I am a shape-shifting lizard person.
And I was under the White House and saw the giant wasps. I think the flat Earth theory kind of gets ruined when you think of, you see a picture of the Earth from space. It's a round circle, right?
Yeah.
If you were to envision that round circle as a round tabletop, all that blue on there is water. So if that's a flat surface, why didn't all the water fall off the edge already?
There must be edges. It's like one of those pools that rich people have.
Yeah, I can't figure that out.
What are they called? Infinity pools or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know you made it when you could potentially die falling off the edge of a cliff from glass pool
Right?
table.
You seen those infinity pools that are hanging off the side of high rises? They got a glass bottom.
Yes.
Yo, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
I don't trust any piece of glass. Like, to stand on. I've stood on a piece of glass in... What the fuck is the tower in Ontario? It's not the Sears Tower, it's the other one.
The Queers Tower?
You're so stupid. But
Well, it
I've
makes
stood
sense.
on the glass fucking plates, and that shit I didn't trust.
I've been in a glass elevator where the floor was glass. I've done that before.
See, I don't trust that, let alone to put thousands of gallons of water and hope that it's gonna fucking hold.
Have you seen the glass floor bridges? I want to say China, but it's one of those.
I think it is China, yeah.
Yeah, where they're actually computer generated screens, and you get about halfway across it, and it
It
looks
starts
like it
breaking.
starts to shatter.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
haven't
man.
seen that.
Oh, yeah, those are fun to watch.
Terrifying.
Dude, I would
Terrifying.
shit my pants.
I'd put one of those in the bottom of one of those infinity pools. It's like on the 80th floor, hanging out.
Somebody's
you know.
swimming underneath, they just see a crack start to form.
Your life preservers up on the edge of the pool all have not just a life preserver but a parachute.
Dude, they would have to have some sort of a tether. Like, at least some paracord or something, dude.
I already don't like to swim, but
I thought you couldn't swim.
I can doggy paddle.
You can doggy style, too.
I can swim underwater, but not for very long and not for very far.
So you can't swim.
But I'm also afraid of heights. So you're not going to get me even 2 stories off the ground in a glass swimming pool.
I'm not going a story. You put a fucking pool that the bottom of it starts at the top of your house or like where the gutters are. Nah. Nope. That's still too high for me.
I'd do it.
See, but I also won't go on a roof or anything. Fuck all that noise.
That's probably a good thing because most of them are weight restricted.
You're a fucking idiot. Speaking of, I had a dream the other day. When I went to Florida with my sister and my brother, and we went to Universal and saw all the Harry Potter shit, they have a ride where you can, like, ride through Hogwarts. Well, they, like, strap you in, and it's not exactly a fucking ride for adults or large adults. And when it happened, I had so much anxiety because I was like, they had to like push the thing down a little bit. And I'm like stuffed in this fucking chair with my arms like this because there's no like, it's not like it starts here. It goes all the way up to your head. So you have to like stuff yourself into it. And I have wide shoulders.
Yeah.
The anxiety from that, I had a dream about that the other day, but I was stuck in the motherfucker. I could have died. I could have died from the anxiety.
Some of my favorite videos are the people that get in those slingshot rides
Oh, those are fun to watch.
where there's like it's like a 2 or 3 person seat and it's a big giant rubber band and they pull the thing way back down to the ground. They get you in, they strap you down, and then they supposedly count down. But the guy running the controls, the good ones anyway, the guy running the controls is like 3, 2, wait a minute, your strap's not all the way tight. And then they launch it.
I would have a heart attack.
You'd be surprised how many people pass out. They
Oh,
faint
yeah.
over and over and over again. They faint.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of G's on that fucking seat, dude.
It's usually the male passenger and the female passenger is laughing
Because, like, the human
entire
body
time.
without training can only handle, what, like 2 or 3 G's without,
that.
like, passing out?
These people are doing it just strictly out of fear because as soon as that thing takes off, they start screaming and then just completely go limp, and it reaches the end of the bounce and starts to come backwards, and they kind of wake up, and then they start screaming again, and they go completely back out again. And they'll do it 4 or 5 times.
I've been on one where like it takes you to the top and you don't know when it's gonna drop,
Yeah.
and then it drops. That was fucking scary.
Wasn't there like a demon drop at Cedar Point or something like that for a while?
There was one here at the fair when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah, there's a miniature one at the fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was called the Demon Drop at
Yeah.
Cedar Point.
I'm not going on anyone bigger than that, dude. That was already scary enough.
That-
And I don't have good luck. I don't have the luck of surviving that. I have the luck of my asshole is now in my fucking mouth. I'm good.
You do that every Saturday if you could.
Not my asshole, but if I could reach my asshole, I could reach my dick.
That demon drop, though, it had like insane speed. By the time you hit the bottom of it, you were fucking moving. I mean, it was close to what the Top Fuel dragster does now. But instead of a straight line, you were going straight down. But
I don't even know if they still have the top fuel running anymore.
I don't think they do.
I think they've been having a lot of issues with that.
Yeah,
and
I think they closed that one down. I think they're coming up with something else. But I don't know. I've only been to the parking lot at Cedar Point because I don't do those kind of rides. Went to the parking lot to pick somebody up who got stuck up there. But I might go up there one day just do the water park because they've got like a adults only pool with a bar in it.
Is it nude?
I would have been there years ago.
Joe, where you going? Cedar Point. Oh, cool. Where you gonna ride? A mom.
I'm not a roller coaster person.
I used to be. I haven't been on one in so long.
I'd
I'd have to go somewhere that it's like more adult friendly because I'm a big fucking guy. I don't want to be stuck in some little tiny goddamn seat that I'm crushed in for the whole ride.
I don't trust the safety equipment.
Right.
That's me.
I was on a roller coaster when I was a little kid at a county fair.
Hey man,
Canyon County Fair.
if I was gonna go out, I feel like there's worse ways to go
I
out.
was on a Care Bears roller coaster. It's about 4
Care
feet off the
Bears.
ground. And it fucking broke and collapsed while I was in it, so I've never been on one since. Yep.
Little scurred.
Never had that. Growing up as a kid, I was never allowed to do the rides at the fair or any of the little carny stuff.
You were just allowed to go like talk to the news lady that was at the fair.
Never talked to a news lady.
No,
No.
just caught the late night news.
That was a lot later in life. No, I guess my dad used to do a lot of that carny stuff when he was younger. And he told me stories. And
I wonder how that translates to the news.
What?
You think carnies really like the news? You think it just gets them going?
Knowing that those fucking fair rides are torn down and put back up every week,
yeah.
there's a lot of shit that's got to get overlooked. And those guys,
Half the time they look high as shit.
that's where I was going with that, because once the rides shut down for the night, they go out and get fucking hammered. They're doing their drug of choice.
Oh yeah.
They're up the next morning. And when they get to the next fairgrounds to set up, they're not sober putting that shit
Oh
up.
no, dude, they're high as shit putting that shit up.
Yeah.
You know, it's the people that are doing meth and that are doing blow that are probably in charge of most of it, though.
Well, that's because they're the sharpest ones. It's the alcoholics that are actually putting the shit together. I got the shakes. I only dropped 4 bolts today.
Here, have another beer. That might help.
Here, this will take the edge off.
So don't get me wrong. Like when my kids were younger, yeah, I'd go ride the rides with them.
Yeah.
But there were some rides I just looked at them like, yeah, I ain't touching that ride.
I almost got on a Ferris wheel once. But then I gave the kid $15 to go do something else.
I'll get on a Ferris wheel. I'll ride a fucking Ferris wheel.
I couldn't get my kids to go on it.
Why?
They just looked at it like, no, not happening.
Oh, yeah, I'll ride a Ferris wheel.
I mean, I'm like, I like heights. I'd be glad to get on a Ferris wheel.
Then there's that hammer ride that swings back and forth like a pendulum.
Mm-hmm.
It's got people on both sides of the hammer part of it. That never looked fun to me. And now I've seen videos of the thing damn near tipping over. if it hadn't been for the people that were there, especially the first guy, everybody's watching this thing. It's rocking back and forth. It's going to tip over backwards.
Yeah.
And one guy in the crowd runs up and jumps on the handrail like one guy's going to do anything. But as soon as he did something, now everybody was like, "Oh shit, we can help!" So they ran
Right.
over.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video.
I always like the one that it's just a big. It's almost like a Ferris wheel, but they put you in like a cage and it like flips you around as it goes around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I always like that one, but that one also feels a lot more safe because you're like in a fucking encapsulated thing.
So your body parts won't leave the capsule when it hits the ground.
Are you talking about the zipper?
It might be.
I think it was called the zipper. It's not as wide as a Ferris wheel, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only fit like 2 people in
Yeah.
the
You
thing.
can make it spin independent.
yeah,
Right,
if you
yeah,
decide
that
of
was
it,
the zipper.
I just feel like there's more of a chance of survival because you're not gonna get crushed as easily in a steel cage, and like you have like you can actually like brace yourself a little bit. Maybe I don't. It just seems like there's more of a chance of survival in that if that one were to go down.
Yeah, it just contains all your body parts when the thing falls apart.
You're just a fucking pessimist. Fuck you.
That was the only one my kids would ride.
I liked that one, or the fireball. I like the fireball. It just goes around in a circle back and forth.
I like the Gravitron.
The Gravitron was
That was
cool.
my favorite one to go on.
That one I did do.
I liked it more as a kid though because the carnies didn't give a shit. The older I got, the more like strict they were about like what you were doing in there.
Yeah.
As a kid, they'd let you fucking stand on the goddamn thing, but then they're like, "No, you gotta have your ass on the platform." Like, fuck you, I want to stand on the thing.
I did do that one time. Where, if I'm thinking of the right one, it starts spinning real fast and then the floor drops.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So centrifugal force is supposed to be holding you against the wall, even though your ass is sitting on a ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the seats move.
Yeah. Yep. I did do that one time.
Got about 5 minutes. What do you guys want to talk about?
Damn, that went quick.
Yeah, it did.
I know you just started on your second one. I'm proud of you.
Hey, I'm cutting back, man. Got to. I'd like to see if we can get some support for JR to come on the show. We're gonna make it happen one way or the other, but I'd like to see if we can get some people, local or far away. I don't, we've got listeners clear out in Idaho.
Got listeners in Japan, or at least we did.
We did have. I don't know if they still listen, but I'd like to see if we can get some support for him. So either in the YouTube comments or over on the X page, the Mike's Harder X page.
Hell, hit us up in the email.
Email, yeah, we'll read those on the air.
Yeah,
and,
at Mike's
or on the
Harder
show.
Podcast at gmail.com.
You've got the Instagrams and all that other crap. That's all just at Mike's Harder Podcast, right?
I think so.
Okay. So I try to keep track of what comes across the X feed. So
I mean, it's probably just mostly titties.
not on this one.
Well, that's no fun.
Well, I use my personal account for all that shit.
I can only imagine what shit is on your personal X for you page.
Actually, I'll let you go through it when we get off of here because you'd be surprised.
I bet there's a lot of politics, but I feel like there's probably some weird shit
You
on
get like one nudie page per 60 other
there.
comments.
Oh, I don't even want to look at it then. There's no point.
You want to use mine?
No, I have my own X.
But yeah, if we get build up some support, let JR know that people actually want to hear him on our little podcast. That'd be cool. Other than that, people that are waiting on shirts, the 2 people that are waiting on shirts, the actual shirts themselves have been locked up in Rossford Post Office since right before Thanksgiving. That's why they're not done yet. So as soon as they get here, the next day I will have them. They're ready to put together. The lady that's doing the shirts for us did a couple of extra front chest logos. So if somebody wants a shirt, I just need to know what size. It just won't have anything on the back. It'll just have the logo on the front. So Other than that, I guess I really don't have anything.
Fact check us. If you know of any inside information about shape-shifting lizard people or giant wasps or the moon landing, hit us
Hey.
up in the email.
Or flat Earth.
Yeah.
Even though I'm drunk a lot, so I'm wrong a lot, I still haven't been proven wrong.
That's because we don't have enough listeners.
Nobody's proved beyond
That'd
a
be
shadow
like
of a
if
doubt.
that'd be like if you preached some gospel out in your backyard and you were like, "Well, nobody's told me that I'm wrong yet." Yeah, because nobody's fucking here.
Look how many decades it took for the Gulf of Tonkin to be proven as fact. Look how many decades it took for the Bay of Pigs to be proven as fact. Look how long it shit took.
I don't know, man. I still don't believe it.
They spent so much money on NASA, though. They're like, we cannot let them know yet.
I don't know, man.
So, I'm drunk a lot, so I'm wrong a lot.
It's been fucking
But,
60 years. I feel like there'd be like hard evidence one way or the other.
nah, that shit's all gone.
Somebody has evidence.
Somebody, if they're still alive.
Well, if Hillary Clinton has anything to do with it, they are. And on that note, I hope you guys all enjoyed.
Yeah, let's not get Arkansas-ed.
All right.
See y'all next time.
Eat
See
a
y'all later.
dick.
Grocery store.
Fucking your dumbass coworker. Oh, I love that. I love games like that. Fucking Christ.
Come on, call him by his name. His name is Big Daddy.
I'm good on that.
You can do it. It's only a couple syllables.
I don't know those syllables. Oh. Well, on that note, I think we're about out of time. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, fact checks, hit us up at the email at mikesharderpodcast@gmail.com.
Welcome to World War III.
You're so fucking stupid.
It's coming.
You're fucking dumb.
No, it's not. I'm not stupid.
You said no, it's not. I said
It's-
you're
it's-
dumb, and you said no, it's not.
You know what I mean. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Fact check me. Find me on X. Fact check me. Do it.
Hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Giving birth to turkeys on Friday. Because everybody ate one.
All right, we'll catch you guys on the next.
Y'all.
Later.